will help you even ongoing, on the go.
Yeah. And there are people who are really good in making decisions, and there are people who takes lots of time in order to do so. I have a very good friend, and she
Oh,
always, when she goes to shopping, she always goes and she finds what she wants, and she tells the person in the shop, just keep it for me. I'm going to go all through the mall, and then I decide. She never takes it because it takes so much energy for her to just to decide to really buy it. And it seems
yeah,
that there are people who are just, they're making decisions not only related to shopping, of course, and it's
right.
easy for them.
But
So
there
if
is a
it,
name. There is a name
yeah,
for it. Sorry for interrupting you. They are
yeah,
called maximizers. Those who try to find the best optimal option. So this one type of people, and it's not bad
hmm,
or good. It's just type of decision making, right?
hmm,
And there are the rest of us who just grab the first good enough option, and that's fine. So it's just different types of decision making, and in some cases it's better to be maximizer. In some cases it's better to be not. It's just type of character.
but what in what cases is it better to go and check and think about it again and again and again? Like, because it takes a long time in order to make all these decisions, right? And sometimes you miss some of the
Exhausting.
decisions.
It's exhausting for her and for her environment and friends.
Sure.
But when you decide about your pension savings, right, or about, I don't know, buying apartment or buying a stock of specific company or moving from one company to another company, you want that friend to be with you in the room and to brainstorm with her all the pros and cons. Because again, it's just a trade. Some of us it's easier for them, and some of us it's harder for them. So you should take advice from such a friend. That's a very valuable friend.
Yeah. But when you're going to shopping in the mall, you should take into consideration it takes much longer.
Yeah, yeah, but you can help her. You can help her by limiting the variety. Okay, we're not looking at any possible dress. Apologize for the exam the
It's okay.
yes example, which is a little bit archaic. We
Yeah.
look only for red dresses. So now
Yeah.
let's find the best red dress. And that's much easier than comparing everything in the store, right? So you can
Yeah.
limit, because we need flexibility, but we don't care what's the limits of the flexibility. So as long as we feel that we have a freedom, that's fine.
And tell me, when we're talking about like dress, no dress, shopping, no shopping, it's really, I have to ask that. Is there any difference between men and women when they do these decisions when they go through life?
If I tell you, I will have to kill you. No, I'm joking. There
But
are
we're online, it will be harder
there
for
are
you right now.
no differences. I mean, there are some tiny differences, but it's nothing compared to the common patterns. So in general, we all Homo sapienses are the same. There are some differences which mainly depends on evolutionary forces. So, for instance, in crisis, like we experienced and we still in the middle of, kind of, women tend to buy more cosmetics. Why? Because the fight over good mate is stronger, is harder. So there are some tiny differences, but in general, it's much easier to approach all of us as the same decision makers.
Yeah. And do we see any changes in the behavior of people right now with the crisis, or in general in crisis? What happens to the decision making or behaviors during
Sure.
crisis?
That's very interesting because there are two almost opposite forces in crisis. On one hand, people tend to narrow their vision to the tunnel vision. So we don't see anything besides whatever we need to sort out now because we're in the crisis. So we may forget to maintain communications with friends or family, or we may to be too much involved in a tiny daily routines and not taking a moment just to, to breathe for ourselves. But on
Mhm.
the other hand, once we realize that the life is short and one day we won't be here, so people tend to buy more luxury and finally let themselves to do that, dream trip that they wanted for years. So for instance, at the beginning of the coronavirus crisis, all the Mercedes in Israel went off. There
Yeah.
are no any more Mercedes in Israel in the beginning of the crisis,
Yeah.
because all those who wanted Mercedes but didn't let themselves felt the end of the world feeling, and they went to actually buy the car.
Yeah.
So it's almost opposite forces, and you can navigate between them.